Magic 96, your one-stop shop for all things movies. From reviews, unboxings, and collections, I'm here to celebrate the magic of cinema. Now, let's roll the film. In today's video, I'll be checking out the original I Know What You Did Last Summer, just in time for the requel coming out tomorrow. The screenplay was written by Kevin Williamson, who also wrote Scream in 1996 and Scream 2 the same year. It was directed by Jim Gillespie, who only went on to direct 4 other movies I've never heard of. The cast includes Jennifer Love Hewitt in her breakout role. Then next year she would go on to star in the sequel and her second most notable film role in Can't Hardly Wait. I also remember her lead role in the TV show Ghost Whisperer was a hit at the time. This was also Freddie Prinze Jr.'s breakout role, and he would also go on to star in the sequel She's All That, Scooby-Doo and Scooby-Doo 2, Monsters Unleashed, and even voiced Kanan Jarrus in the TV show Star Wars Rebels. The most popular actress in the film, in my opinion, is Sarah Michelle Gellar, who also appeared in Scream 2, Cruel Intentions, both Scooby-Doo live-action films, The Grudge 2, TMNT, and Buffy the Freaking Vampire Slayer. I also have to mention Freddie Prinze Jr. and Sarah Michelle Gellar met on this film, got married 5 years later, and are still to this day. They are that rare Hollywood couple that has stayed together, and I'm here for it. Ryan Phillippe was also in Cruel Intentions, and that's about it. Finally, Johnny Galecki was in National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, Roseanne, and most importantly, The Big Bang Theory. I Know What You Did Last Summer has such a great premise for a film. The opening mountain landscape shots are stunning and really help set the mood. What really stands out is the year-long time jump. It gives the characters room to grow and mature instead of the story taking place over just a few days like most slashers. One of the more emotional moments is hearing about the characters' dreams and how life didn't turn out the way they hoped. Helen, for example, wants to star in a soap opera, but that obviously doesn't happen. She ends up failing in New York and returns to her hometown to work retail. It's a little heartbreaking and honestly relatable. Most of us thought we could conquer the world when we were younger, only to find out how tough reality is. Each character reacts differently to the hit and run, which adds some great layers to the story. For instance, Barry's character is such a jerk, and I think the filmmakers did that on purpose so we'd root for his death. I mean, he literally chokes Julie at one point, so over the top that it practically begged to be spoofed in Scary Movie. But honestly, the idea of teens trying to cover up an accidental death feels very real. I'm sure a lot of us sat through those senior year assemblies about drunk driving accidents. It hits close to home. I also love how the town plays into the killer's look and some of the kills. The parade scene is another standout. I love that other people in the crowd are dressed like the killer. It adds a layer of tension. Sarah Michelle Gellar kills it when she's locked in the back of the cop car trying to warn the officer. Funny enough, a similar scene plays out in Scream 2, which came out just 2 months later, and honestly I think Scream 2 pulls it off a little better. Huge shout out to our lead Jennifer Love Hewitt, who is a fantastic final girl. She's naturally beautiful and has a really terrified scream. A few other points I wanted to add. There's an awesome jump scare underwater when Barry jumps in the water to take back Helen's crown and the fisherman's eyes suddenly open. Classic horror moment. The angled shot of the fisherman reaching into his coat for the hook after hitting Barry with his car is rad. And the famous line, "What are you waiting for?" I don't care what anyone says, it's so bad it's good. Even people who haven't seen the movie in years still remember it. Now let's talk kills. Max's death is one of the most memorable. I love how it's set up. Barry threatens Max with the hook, Max leaves the hook in a block of ice, and then the killer uses it to stab Max through the jaw and drag his body across the table. Brutal. And the reveal of Max's body in Julie's trunk surrounded by crabs is awesome. It always gave me mobster vibes, like Goodfellas and The Godfather. The whole sleeping with the fishes thing. Barry's death is well written, especially how everyone thinks Helen's overreacting when she screams for help. Helen's death is such a tease to the audience. She's literally feet away from safety. So suspenseful. The final battle on the boat is intense, and the fact that Ben loses his hand before falling into the ocean makes his return in a sequel feel more plausible than the typical slasher villain who gets shot 10 times and still shows up totally fine in the next movie. I'll admit the killer's reveal confused me a bit my first few watches. Ben, the fisherman killer, is Susie's father, who is also David's fiance. She died in a drunk driving accident in a car David was driving. So Ben kills David for revenge. I personally don't think it's explained well. The ending scene is a nice touch. Julie gets another familiar looking note, which leads to a solid jump scare. And the message I still know clearly sets up the sequel. This is hands down my favorite post-Scream slasher, and that's why I'm giving it a 4 out of 5. This slipcover version released in 2022, but less than a month ago they released a steelbook version with the same theatrical artwork. This disc supports HDR10 and Dolby Vision and has a 4K scan from the original camera negative. It also has Dolby Atmos, but I don't have the surround sound setup that uses that feature. You can still see film grain, but it's not overbearing. Daytime scenes look much richer and more natural, and nighttime scenes have more clarity than ever before. You can even see all the detail in the gravel and cracked asphalt. I have to say, I'm shocked Sony put this release out and the license didn't get picked up by a boutique label, but I don't think they would have done any better. My 4K audio and visual review is a 4.5 out of 5. All right, so right here I have the standard version of the film, and on the front it has that original theatrical artwork. Show you the back. Open it up. Right on the right side we have the 4K, and on the left side we have the Blu-ray disc. Now I got this a little bit later, so it doesn't have the slipcover, but if I did have the slipcover, it would be the same image of the fisherman as the disc, except it would have the an image of the cast and a scene where they hit the fisherman on the front. I'll go ahead and insert a picture right there. When you pop in the 4K disc, you can hear some of the instrumental score. When we go to setup, it has English Dolby Atmos, it has English 5.1 master audio, and then a bunch of other languages. When we go to scenes, it's all standard, everything on the right side, and no name or anything there. And then when we go to extras, okay, so right here on the right, we do have 3 new special features, and that is deleted scenes at the top, which is 5 minutes of previously unreleased deleted scenes. And as you can see from that little image on the screen, it is definitely not 4K quality. It's very bad quality. Second is My Own Summer, which is a 30-minute interview with director Jim Gillespie. And then at the bottom, we have He Knows What You Did, an interview with Muse Watson, a.k.a. Ben Willis, a.k.a. The Fisherman. And as you can see in the bottom corner, it is like a 15-minute runtime as well. What's your thoughts on the original film, and are you planning to see the 4th installment? Be sure to let me know in the comments section down below. And as always, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. You can also check me out on Instagram at MovieMagic1996. Thank you so much for everything, and as always, go watch a movie today.